The atmosphere at Anfield is electric. Since Arne Slot took charge of Liverpool, the club has undergone an impressive transformation, not just tactically, but also strategically in the transfer market. The Reds are dreaming big once again, and the seven-figure moves of the last window made it clear that the board is willing to do whatever it takes to restore Liverpool to the pinnacle of European football. Astronomical sums were spent, records were broken, and bold gambles were taken. Yet now an internal revelation is drawing attention. Influential figures within the club believe that Liverpool's true ideal signing may have slipped through their fingers, and he continues to shine in the Premier League. The name increasingly echoing through Anfield's corridors is Antoine Semenyo, the talented Bournemouth forward. According to The Telegraph, some key voices within the Merseyside club viewed the Ghanaian as the perfect signing last summer, not only for his technical qualities, but also for the almost natural fit he would have in the project that Arne Slot is shaping. Despite this, Liverpool did not formally move for him, an inaction that for some may have come at a high cost. To understand why this story sparks so much curiosity and debate among fans, it is necessary to look back a few months. Liverpool did not hold back. With over £450 million spent, the club staged one of the most intense transfer windows in recent English football history. There were days of speculation, tense negotiations, and a clear message to the world: Liverpool intends to dominate once more. And in that context, two signings stood out: Florian Wirtz and Alexander Isak. Wirtz's arrival was a masterstroke. Considered one of the greatest footballing prospects globally, the German midfielder was coveted by giants such as Bayern Munich, Manchester City and Real Madrid. Many said he was destined for Bayern, a natural step within the Bundesliga. Yet Liverpool moved first, convinced the player and shocked the market. Meanwhile, the Isak deal was another epic saga. Newcastle United refused to sell, and the club had to overcome both financial and bureaucratic hurdles to seal the agreement. In the end, the fans were ecstatic. The sense was that Arne Slot had assembled a squad capable of challenging for everything. However, as the season progressed, internal reflections began. Despite all the investment and headline-grabbing signings, some strategic figures within the club started asking, amidst this million-pound revolution, did Liverpool let slip precisely the player who could balance the squad and provide the perfect transition for the future without Mohamed Salah? Enter Semenyo, discreet yet explosive, young yet mature on the pitch, a player who does not need the spotlight to draw attention. The 25-year-old Ghanaian is shown a steady rise at Bournemouth with solid numbers and, above all, a style of play reminiscent, in his own way, of Salah during his early days at Liverpool. His versatility is the first feature that stands out. He operates naturally on both the right and left and can even drift into a central role when required. Arne Slot, known for valuing tactical, versatile and intense players, would likely see Semenyo as a perfect asset for his system of rapid transitions and constant pressing. Another factor is that Semenyo is a homegrown type of player in the sense that he is already adapted to the frenetic pace of the Premier League, drastically reducing the adaptation risks that usually accompany international transfers. The comparison with Salah is inevitable. When the Egyptian arrived at Anfield in 2017, few imagined he would become one of the modern club's greatest icons. Coming from Roma, Salah was not a universal favourite, but he grew, matured and transformed into a footballing powerhouse. Today, 8 years on, the star's cycle appears to be nearing its end, and the board knows it must act quickly to find someone who can, if not fully replace him, at least carry part of his offensive legacy.
In this scenario, Antoine Semenyo emerges as a logical yet exciting option. He has pace, physicality, dribbling ability, and most importantly, a hunger to develop. He has stood out at Bournemouth with consistent performances, directly contributing to goals, demonstrating year-on-year growth, and earning the respect of English supporters. He seems to be reaching the peak of his career, much like Salah was when he arrived at Liverpool. Behind the scenes, some suggest that Liverpool did monitor the forward over the summer, but prioritised more high-profile targets. Nevertheless, communication between club and player never ceased. In recent weeks, rumours have resurfaced strongly, and sources close to the board claim that discussions about a potential approach are heating up. Fans, of course, have already begun debating. Part of the support believes Semenyo would be an underrated signing, one of those names that arrives quietly but ends up winning the fans' hearts through effort and dedication. Others argue that Liverpool should aim for already established stars, given the need to keep the squad competitive at European level. But one truth is undeniable. Replacing Salah is an almost impossible task. The Egyptian redefined the role of the modern right winger, combining technique, speed, and a killer instinct. Any player stepping into his shoes will bear an enormous weight. Still, if anyone in the Premier League has the ideal profile to start this new cycle, many believe it is precisely Semenyo. The notion of an ideal signing extends far beyond talent. It is about fit, mentality, and alignment with the project. And that is exactly what seems to be capturing the interest of key figures at Anfield. Arne Slot has been building a Liverpool that values collective play, intensity, and tactical intelligence. He is not merely seeking stars, but players willing to mold themselves to the system and evolve within it. Semenyo embodies this philosophy. He is not just a speedster, he is a player who understands the game, knows when to drop back, press and exploit spaces. His adaptability makes him a rare asset in an era of extreme specialization. At Bournemouth, he has shown he can be decisive against any opponent, whether in marquee clashes or mid-table battles. That is why the narrative that Liverpool let their ideal signing slip resonates as both a critique and a warning. The transfer market is ever-changing, and prices for top forwards continue to rise. If the club truly believes Semenyo is this player, every day of waiting risks making him more expensive and harder to secure. Meanwhile, Arne Slot is watching closely. The Dutch manager knows his team needs renewal, particularly on the wings. He has worked to give Liverpool a new identity without losing the intensity and passion that have always defined the club. Within this context, a player like Semenyo would not just be a tactical piece, he would be a symbol of transition. Amidst all this, speculation continues to grow. Liverpool, now with one of Europe's most valuable squads, could be poised to take another bold step. Perhaps this time, the gamble will not involve record-breaking sums, but rather a smart, coherent choice for the club's future. Whether as a direct replacement for Salah or as a new attacking weapon to be refined, Antoine Semenyo is firmly on the radar, and all indications are that his story with Liverpool may only just be beginning, a narrative set to intrigue, excite, and perhaps surprise the football world once again. Ultimately, the big question hanging over Anfield is simple yet charged with emotion. Is Liverpool's ideal signing still playing for another Premier League club? If the influential figures within the club have their say, the answer may well be a resounding yes, and perhaps very soon Arne Slot and his team will decide to turn that belief into reality.